Basketball fans, welcome back. So the Basketball Africa League conference games came to a close this past weekend, and our Nairobi Thunder finished with a 1-5 record. And there are a couple of things I want to highlight because I've released multiple videos talking about the Nairobi Thunder's performance, and all of them, when I've been talking about them, I've been looking at them at a statistical perspective, especially looking at how the players performed, how the overall team performed, and what to expect in the next games as they came. And it deemed difficult when we saw the Nairobi Thunder implode. This is a team that won the Road to BAL Elite 16 East Division, and looking at them getting stomped on like that was a very hard watch, considering the fact that in the Elite 16, the Nairobi Thunder in the finals beat Creole Star, and Creole Star went ahead to grab a playoff spot in the Sahara Conference, which was the toughest conference in BAL Season 5. And they are on their own route to play in the BAL playoffs. So it was very embarrassing to see the Thunder go out like that, because this is a team that a lot of Kenyans had rated highly. And I don't know how the Thunder fans feel right now, because their team got destroyed. Then they got embarrassed in the continental stage. And I can say that they got culture shocked, especially when they went and played in Rwanda. And things have not looked the same for the Thunder. And I don't think they're going to look the same moving forward, because the aura that the Thunder had, especially when it came to preparing for BAL, looking towards pushing themselves to be in that position where they can go ahead and compete in the top flight, has severely backfired on them. I'm not writing them off completely, because they are the only team right now I can see that have a chance to go and play in BAL again, because at least they have already tasted BAL and they've seen how it is. But looking at how they went out, it was a very, very sad sight, considering the fact that teams that they're on the same level with, like the likes of Creole Star, are able to thrive in a tough Sahara Conference, and they're able to challenge teams, and they qualified. And if you look at the Nile Conference, even despite the comeback that we saw MBB have, that team still could not make it. And they got beat to the punch by FS Rabat, a team that was in the Kalahari Conference. Only two teams from the Nile Conference made it to the BAL playoffs. And it is very embarrassing, because I had put so much high expectations on the Thunder based on how they were moving. And I can even say the Thunder got exposed as frauds, and they're overrated, because looking at their journey to what led them to be even in BAL, raised a few question marks, and there are a few red flags that many people have chosen to ignore, especially when it comes to continental basketball. So the Thunder, when they finished KBF and they won that title, all roads led to them creating a roster that can be able to compete in the road to BAL. So what did the Thunder decide to do? They went ahead and signed a couple of players. They all made some retooling on their roster, which was necessary, so that they can be able to compete in the road to BAL. So they added like 5 to 6 players in there, so they had to cut like 5 to 6 players, and they went all in, and they put all their chips in road to BAL. So in the first round, they went 1-3, and subsequently leading them to the Elite 16. In the Elite 16, they needed some firepower. They got a Termajok and a Haruna, and they still retained the services of UC. And they went all in, and they put all their chips in again, and they went 5-0, subsequently clinching a ticket to the Road to BAL Nile Conference. So the Road to BAL, they won it. So that euphoria of qualifying was supposed to be for that period alone. But when you look forward, you'll see that even in the games that happened last week, even in the first game, you'll see people say, we're the first team to make history in Road to BAL, all that. The euphoria still did not go away. And they should have understood that, man, we're already in. Now, what should we do? We should now start preparing. So in December, in the first week of December, you could see that the Nairobi Thunder made it to the BAL. That was last year, 2024. So all gears should have shifted to the point where they should now focus on setting this team up to prepare for the actual BAL. And in their preparations, they lost Atarmajok and Haruna to Ville Dakar. So they brought in a couple of players. They brought in Ganapamo, which was a panic signing, which was a bad thing. And then brought in an Apio didn't play, Derek Ogech didn't play. So there was a lot of things going on from January to April. So they had to compete in KBF games, which I even mentioned 2 months prior to the BL Nile Conference tipping off, or even the whole BL tipping off. I said the Thunder have a first world problem. They have to balance competing in BAL, and also they have to balance in, competing in the KBF. So there's KBF on one side and BAL on the other side. So the logical thing that will have happened was this team should have created 2 training mechanisms to be able to keep these things separate. Because if the blunder was when they put them all together, it ended up confusing them. Because every single win they got, every single near miss they got, they're saying, we're trying to build up team chemistry to be able to prepare for the actual BAL. So when the BL came, you could see this, the euphoria was still there. A lot of people are saying, this is the first time in BAL, everything. There was high optimism. Even I saw like a couple of posts a while ago. Some people like were saying, this might be this is an easy conference. When the conferences were announced, you could see somebody say, this is easy. I think we can take on these teams. And for somebody like me who has been covering BAL, this is the 5th year I've been covering BAL, I already know like what to expect from these teams, especially the North African teams. My God, we got brutalized. In that first game against APR, it was bad, to the point where I feel for even the people who went to watch the games in the watch parties, because seeing that team getting hammered like that was a first-time experience. Because a lot of people, you could see they were so optimistic. They're saying, we can beat APR, and understand APR are playing their home floor. And it's unfortunate that the Thunder could not even be able to get a win on APR, and they couldn't get a win on Al Ahly Tripoli. The only team that we got a win on was MBB. And MBB, that win, I cannot put a lot of credibility on it, because MBB did not even make it to the BL playoffs. So we beat a team essentially that didn't even make it, and we lost to teams that already made it. So it is very sad to see this team go out like this, and I don't know how they're going to pick themselves up, because now they have cut players, they've added players, and it's going to look all funny because they are coming in from a high and they're going to go to a low, because the whole goal was to make it to the BAL playoffs, and I don't think they were determined enough to be able to understand that mentally. Because even in the games, as the games happened, you could see they were not used to be playing that physical. They were not used to playing back-to-back. And a lot of people are sweeping all this under the rug, considering the fact that the Thunder have quote-unquote professional players who eat, sleep, and get paid to play basketball. And looking at them, they don't look like a team that even trained one bit. And the quote-unquote stars that you think that they can do anything for you did virtually nothing. And when I come out and I point out these things, I've been called about a lot of things. I'm not going to make this video about me. This is about the Thunder. So for the people who are coming here and saying that, we are criticizing the Thunder, all this and that, the thing is, locally, the Thunder have padded their record. They have gone ahead and signed all the good players, and they have gone ahead and gone unbeaten in Kenya. And that's where it starts, and that's where it ends. Competing in BAL, it will take so much, because the road to BAL, you only get lucky one time. We're not sure if BAL season 6, in the road to BAL for season 6, you're going to win it all the way we won it in the last edition. So every single opportunity, you have to understand, you have to utilize it. And if you don't utilize that opportunity, it doesn't come back. Ask the teams like FAP, SLAC, DUC. They have not been able to go back-to-back years. They are veteran teams, the likes of Yos Monastir, Petro de Luanda, APR. Those are teams that will go back-to-back in back-to-back years. And we don't have like that pass that we can have an automatic BAL, participation berth like other teams. So one thing that even I saw people fail to understand is I saw people saying, we're gonna be back next year, all that. And that's no, BAL season 6 is not a guarantee. And I'm going to explain it to you as to why BAL season 6 is not a guarantee. Because if you look at the teams in the Nile Conference, Al Ahly Tripoli, they're a team that hails from North Africa. So they'll have very good talent every single year and they're set to contend. Last year, Al Ahly Benghazi made it all the way to the BAL finals. This one you're seeing they went 6-0 Al Ahly Tripoli. So they're guaranteed because of their good performance and elite plays. Now let's look at APR. APR are showing to make the BAL playoffs. Considering the fact that they are the host, they are a host country and they are a host venue, and the host venue has a team, there's a high likelihood that they can go ahead and qualify. Last year they couldn't make it. They played in the Sarah Conference. They couldn't make it to play in the BAL playoffs. This year it was different. They hosted the Nile Conference and they were able to win it. So you could see there's an automatic playoff berth for APR and any other Rwandan team. They don't even have to go to BAL. Then if you look at MBB, they were given a golden handshake. They had an underwhelming road to BAL and they were granted a handshake. So you could see the only team that has the short end of the stick is Kenya. But luckily enough, because of the Thunder's road to BAL campaign, hopefully we don't go all the way and start from the beginning of the first round. We'll go ahead and play in the Elite 16, hopefully. Based on our performances, there's a high likelihood because we're going to be given the nod as winners. So that's a lucky thing. But all in all, it is a very disappointing performance. I must say the Thunder have a long way to go. And if there's going to be any improvement in BAL, I'll give them a timeline of about 6 to 7 years. I don't think right now, as we speak, they'll have the ability to go ahead and, even make it to the BAL playoffs, because I'd put very high expectations. I said, the Thunder, they can try a 5-1, which was striked out the moment they went 0-2. They can try 4-2, but when they went 0-4, I knew it was over. And when they went 105, I just knew for a fact that, we're just a participating team. And even said that we are going to go down similar to what we saw with City Oilers in BAL season 4. So it is what it is. So I am somebody who thrives on telling it as it is. And a lot of people are sugarcoating a lot of things. Tailongwe had a very poor game, which I talked about. The stars that we thought that they are stars do not play well. And the Thunder's front office made a huge mistake in signing the likes of Ganapamo, especially Ganapamo, and making sure that he gets the most minutes to justify his signing. Because one thing people fail to understand is when a new player is brought into the team and the whole coaching staff have to be able to see how they can play with this, play this guy, and also the people who signed him, the people who shell out money for this guy, they have to understand this asset that you have brought in, what is it doing? Because you cannot spend so much money bringing somebody in that they can ride the bench. So that's one thing that the Thunder failed at, especially when it came to like their signing. Why would you sign Ganapamo and you have Albert Odero and they still play the same position, they have the same play style? Didn't make any sense. And when you trusted Albert Odero to close out the final 2 games, he had breakout performances. He had 23 versus MBB and he had 29 versus APR. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So as per recording this video, I feel like I think the Thunder came back. So I know they're watching my videos. I know they're watching it in silence, but I just hope it reaches them. You guys, I know a lot of people are congratulating you. It's funny to me that there are people who are happy after a loss. I mean, I'm happy when we win. I am not happy when we lose. And if you notice, if you have taken note, I'll cover every single game regardless if whether we win or we lose. I'm always there and I'm always going to go ahead and talk about these things. So, I mean, it is what it is. So I am going to be releasing videos talking about the BAL playoffs as well. I mean, I was hoping to see the Thunder participate in the BAL playoffs for the first time because they will be guaranteed 2 games. They will have played a classification game and have played the game in the first round. But unfortunately, the Thunder with their 4-5 record, they still couldn't make it. And I even said the Thunder, if they needed to qualify, they should have only won 3 games. If they had been able to win 3 games, they would have grabbed the best third place spot. And the point differential system is a system that is used in BAL. Something that a lot of people who are casual fans who started watching BAL recently failed to understand. And also, speaking of those fans, there are those fans that started watching BAL just recently because of the Nile conference and because the Thunder are there, and they just started watching recently. So to the new fans, understand that don't try to come here and try to wag your finger in my face telling me what's what, because I've been watching BAL even when there was no Kenyan team participating in BAL. I was there. You just came because the Thunder are there. And now because they have gone, you have left. So even there's a 0% chance these people are going to watch the BAL playoffs because the Kenyan team is not there. You're only there because your Kenyan team was there. And I understand that I've been watching BAL for the longest time. And your opinion really doesn't matter. And I will continue telling it as it is. If you don't like the videos, no one is forcing you to watch. If you're not going to interact with the posts, it's okay. Nobody has forced you to listen or even interact with the post. And I mean, a lot of people are patting the Thunder on the back, telling them, all sorts of things. They are good, everything is okay. But honestly, if you ask me, I'll always stick with the truth and I'll always tell it as it is, regardless of your feelings, because it's always fact over feelings. I really don't care about your feelings. It's all about how can this team get to that next level. And currently, the Thunder, there are too many yes men in that squad. There are too many yes men in that camp. The fans are yes men. Nobody's going to tell this team that they have what they are going to, they need what they need to do to change up. And a lot of people are just happy to be there. And I can even say the team was just happy to be there. Some people are like, I played in BAL, it was all good. But if you look at their performances, it was poor. Like Telongo had a 3-point game in that game against APR, the last game. And a lot of people are not going to talk about it. So the quote unquote pro players played poorly. And that's one thing I want to come and tell you. And the facts are there, the stats are there, and the film is there to show you how poor these players played. They got their fucking ass kicked, and there's nothing they can do about it. And the whole continent knows that Kenya has a long way to go. And when people see Kenya in this contest, they feel happy because this is a quick win. And the same woes that the coaching staff and the bench had in the national team does follow them to the Nairobi Thunder. Poor like game executions, poor strategies. Even Brad Ibbs, I can say, has benefited from having a squad of good players. He's not a good coach, and it has been shown. He's not a good coach. And I don't think the Thunder can go all the way to the next level with him coaching them in a BAL situation. Maybe in a KBF situation, but not BAL. The Nairobi Thunder have altered their roster a lot to the point where they've forgotten that they needed to even change in their coaching position. So it is what it is. So I can say a lot, but hey, it is what it is. So follow me on my page, NBAKenya. Also, Kenya Basketball Community. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, and also interact with me at the comment section down below. So I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.